Could you...
Sorry?
Could you summarise the next sort of 60 years in a bit of a nutshell?
So he began listening to Africans and realizing that they had something really worth contributing to the world. And he was really trying to preserve their culture, because a lot of American culture would come into Africa. And if you were coming into the towns, then you would listen to American culture. And Africans tend to give up their culture rather quickly when other cultures come in. So to preserve it, he started out while he was on his first recording trips. And I've never seen one myself. It's a wire recorder. This is a barrel of some sort, and wire goes around it, and you could record music on this before tape came into existence. So he got some grants and went off on his first trip, which was it must have been a very exciting business, traveling with his Model T Ford, going to places where perhaps there were not even roads, and began his first recording tours that way. Then the Depression came, and he started trying to earn his money in different ways. He actually became quite a painter and painting people's portraits. He had his own gold mine for a while and got this much gold out of it. And then the next major part of his life was to take a team of Africans, singers, all the way down to Cape Town. This was a long trip down, well over 1,000 miles. And they had radio broadcasting down there. And so that was a big success. And the people who ran the station there were also impressed with my father, not just the singers. And they offered him a job as an announcer, because he had a good radio voice. So he worked at that for a while, and then they offered him the directorship of the studios in Durban, which is just around the coast in South Africa. And that was his job from 1930, middle 30s, all the way through to 1947. During that time, of course, came the Second World War, and he joined up with the Allies, because South Africa was a little bit divided about which side they would be on. So he was on the other side of the Allies, but they said, no, we need you to run the radio station, because there are submarines off the coast, and we can't have radio waves being uncontrolled. You need to watch what is said over your radio waves. So that was his position during the war. After the war, this is when my brother and I and my mother left him in Africa. We went back to England to live at my grandmother's house, and he was able to take up the study of African music full-time at that point. He'd been doing little trips into the countryside, especially up to the Chopi people in Mozambique. But this time, he finally got enough money together to start his basic life's career. And his main working years were 1947 through 57. And he would go out for 6 months every year and record, and then come back for the next 6 months and figure out what he got. He put it on LPs. His main collection is 212 long-playing records, and it comes with all the card indexes, all the details of the recordings, of the lyrics, of the tunings of the instruments, every detail that goes with a recording session. And those sessions went on so fast that he had to have help. And so he had a second wife who fit perfectly into his life, because she was very academic, and she was excellent. That was Peggy. My mother was Ursula, and she was obviously very good at breeding, because she had 2 wonderful sons. But Peggy was great in her position. And so he founded the International Library of African Music, and that's been going strong ever since. When he passed on, my brother ran the library for many, many years, and he also moved it from the Johannesburg area down to Rhodes University, which is in the city of Grahamstown in South Africa. So when I got back from England 10 years later, I'd only seen him once in 10 years, then I got to know who he was. And it was then that the BBC came and made a documentary of what he was doing in Africa. And was there just finding out at the same time as they were who my father was. And my father always said to me, oh, you sing for the guests. And so I always had to sing. And that's why I'm on that documentary myself, just sitting on the stoop. We call it the stoop, it's the patio. So that was basically my father's career in African music. And when you talk to my brother Andrew, you'll find out a lot more what he did.
Tell us what you learned from your father.
My father taught me a lot of things. Carpentry, farming, many, many good things. But specifically for my own career, he helped me with my singing. Made sure that I closed my consonants. The word long, you don't hold the O for a long time like opera singers. You close it off quickly, long. And so people can understand what you're saying. They don't have to wait till the end of the song, basically, to hear. Also, he made sure that I had good bass lines in my guitar accompaniments. And years later, I wrote this accompaniment to no song at all. I didn't know what the song was. I didn't have any feelings that matched this accompaniment until I became a parent. And then all those feelings come flooding out. And I put a song about my daughter. How long can we keep meeting this way? How long will you still want me to play with you and your toys? It'll soon be the boys who... I messed up. Soon be the boys who take over.
We'll have to go from the top again.
Okay, ready? I learned... Okay, ready? I learned many things from my dad, especially about carpentry and farming and life in general. But specifically in my career, he taught me how to sing with closed consonants. And this is very important if you want your words to be understood. You don't hold vowel songs for long periods. You go quickly to the consonant. How long, ng, quickly, and so that helped me a lot in my singing. But with my guitar playing, he made sure that I had a good bass line going, not just the chords, not just strumming chords, finger picking style, keeping the bass line going. And it was many years later that I wrote this accompaniment for a song I didn't know what it was going to be. And it was only when I became a father and had a daughter that all those emotions came out, and I had finally something that would match the feeling of that melody. It was a song I wrote for my daughter. How long can we keep meeting this way? How long will you still want me to play with you and your toys? It'll soon be the boys who take over my place in your life. And it goes on like that, but the chorus, of course, more joy in having a daughter, it goes into the major. But I'm so lucky I've time on my side, so many years before you're a bride, and until the day that I give you away, I'm still the man in your life. So I give my father the credit for helping me with my singing and my accompaniments.
Still a few seconds.